So, looking at her face, how do you feel like, how's it been since last time?
It actually had got really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then my period came and kind of did its thing.
Wrecked your world.
But it's actually still pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. She doesn't really have much pigmentation going on, which is good. For a while there, we were dealing with that. So, for her serum, we're just gonna do niacinamide just to help combat any of the pimples she is having. And we'll still do Power Bright because we're doing a 60, so well, a 60, a very long 60, right? So that's chest, neck, and décolleté, neck, and face. I'm not gonna have her take out her piercings because the last time I did that, I threw them away. Had to buy new ones. They came quick though.
They did come quick. Like next day delivery.
Next day delivery. Thank you, Amazon. Thank you, Amazon. We probably wouldn't do accelerated 35. We'll still just do liquid gold. I think the liquid gold worked really well on you that one time we did it. Do you remember we mixed the two last time? Is that what we did?
Yeah, I don't
Instead
remember.
of just doing one or the other, we mixed them.
I don't remember.
I think we did. And I think the liquid gold just worked better for you. Okay, so those were the two things we were waiting to see what her skin looked like before we dispensed it. So because I'm a shorty, I gotta put all this up. If I fall, you just mind your business, okay? These stools are not made for us. They're not made for shorties. We're gonna go ahead and drape her up. We'll have one more joining us later, but she's taking a test right now, so. The others aren't here. You didn't get to meet the whole class. Not this time. She's gonna go to sleep. Okay, y'all see how I'm on her forehead right now? I'm gonna use that to pull back. So that way if she did have any baby hairs, we're good. We got them in there, right? How's that feel? Pretty tight?
Pretty trying to suffocate me.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Okay.
It's alright though.
Okay. Like it's cozy enough?
Okay.
So some people you want to leave the ears out. Some people you go ahead and cover them. For the most part, I just go ahead and cover them. She's got her hair in a bun, so I'm just gonna tuck that just up out of the way, but that's about it. So I'll potentially get something on there. If her hair was down, I have my vertical one that I could help roll it up into, right? And if you'll just watch that camera, if someone calls or something, I think it'll cut off, so. Let me know. You know, them spam calls get worse around the holidays. They get crazy.
They're trying to sell you stuff.
I know. Well, they got my information. One of the two. Oh. Let's hope. And then I do small gloves because I like them tight, but I do fight with them. So, you know, bear with me here. It's going to probably take me about 5 minutes to get them on.
After freshly washed hands, for sure.
Yeah, especially after some freshly washed hands. So when I went to TDLR, like when I took my test, like I took large gloves or like extra large gloves or something like that. Because I didn't want the sweatiness and the whatnot to affect me, but then that backfired on me because then there was too much Like I already have,
Mhm.
like, look how I can fold a small over my fingertip.
I was gonna say, I think I read in one of the lessons that it's preferred to wear like tight gloves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you have less like, just, you see my fingers don't even go all the way to the tips. If I have nails on, it does. You know, like then they fit good. But that's just how short my fingers are. But my palms are fat. So, I don't know. Is that hurting your earring?
Yeah, that is good now.
Okay, good. If they do have earrings on, just check them. If they're hoops, just go ahead and take them off. But if they're studs, just check, because you know if they're long ones, they will poke, especially with the headband towel combo. A lot of times I don't even do the headband, I just do the towel, but we're gonna be here for a while, so we wanna make sure it stays on there. Hello.
Hi, is there one person here?
She is not. Thank you. Okay, so we're not gonna do any pre-cleanse on her eyes today just because she's having the irritation. So we're just gonna wet these and we're just gonna place them on her so she can be relaxed, right? And that way those can stay hydrated. So that's been a week now?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy work.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the doctor maybe if it lasts another week, but when I looked it up, it said 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. I would say, yeah.
And it looks a lot better than last week, so.
That's crazy. I feel like the only time I had something like that happen one time was when I found out I was allergic to benzoic acid. And I swelled up really bad, like a balloon. Like a whole balloon.
Mm-mm. My eyes were like really swollen.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's okay. It'll get better. Alright, so we're starting off with pre-cleanse, right? Just like any facial. So we are doing a 60, so this is décolleté, neck, and face. So we're just gonna add it to the chest first and then go to the face. So you always wanna work chest to head whenever it's talking about a 60, or when you're doing a 30, chin to head, right? So for the chest, like you took a swipe, up, and then I just swipe that way. So I'm still kind of doing like the forehead, chin motion and cheek motion, right? And then I can just repeat that. I just want to work it in. Depending on the person's face or their bone structure, that's what's gonna just tell your hands to do what your hands gotta do, right? I can't say every time you're gonna sit here and do SD fingers, right? There's people that will literally do this for every person. How does that feel?
Good.
Does it feel like anything special?
Cause you're doing it.
Right? But if someone was like really light touch, like,
Mm-mm.
it's like nothing, right? We're not getting in there. When you start doing like fingers and thumbs and whatnot, you can start to get a little bit more pressure. That's when you start to kind of loosen up those sinuses and everything,
Mhm.
right? That's what people come here for. Okay. We have our forehead here. For the nose, you can just go down the nose. We're gonna emulsify all this.
I was gonna say, if you want to remove the things,
That's
you
okay.
can.
It's okay. You just be careful around them, because they'll help me remember that you got eye problems.
Okay.
Right. Because I'll just go into autopilot and be sticking some stuff up under there and be like, uh-oh. Uh-ohs. Okay. Some people, they have a large enough structure that you can get by with like the kind of the petting motion, right? Some people it just doesn't work. You can
You're
try
trying
to
to say I
tell.
got a big forehead?
No. You got a small face. You got a small head.
That's a plus.
That's a plus, right? You're a small individual. Okay? You do not have a big forehead. So you just want to make sure it's worked all the way around, and then what are we going to do? Emulsify, right? So same thing, we're just going to add water to the chest. And if you come around here, you can see that it starts to go milky on her chest. On her face, you might not see as much. Right now, the goal is not like effleurage, petrissage, like touch therapy motions. It's just cleansing the face. That's our goal right now. is to just cleanse the face. But it doesn't mean we have to like go super, super fast and be super negligent with it, right? Okay. For her, I'm gonna go ahead and remove some wet. And then we're gonna do our second cleanse, and I'm boosting her second cleanse, right? So that means I'm adding exfoliant into the second cleanse, and then I'm gonna show what it would look like with the spin brush. I probably won't do a whole lot of the spin brush on her face, just because I wanna make sure I don't irritate up under the eyes, but I'll show you it on her chest and a little bit like on her cheek or something. Okay, so we just want to go ahead and swipe. Do you have any moisturizer or BB cream on?
Or maybe moisturizer.
No. You just want to be careful around the nose rings. Just take your time. It's not a big deal if they're in or out. Okay, throw them in there. So you don't always need a trash can, because guess what? We have a bowl. Okay. All right, so if we didn't know that we wanted to use special cleansing gel or that we were going to be doing some boosting on her, I would then say, okay, let's analyze the skin, right? That's when you pull out the Woods lamps. That's when you sit there and you kind of pinch the skin and you look at what's happening. How did it absorb the pre-cleanse? And then you could say, oh, you know, I think I'm going to use intensive moisture cleanser, or I'm going to use skin resurfacing cleanser if we had it. Oh, I'm going to use ultra calming cleanser because she's, you know, a little bit pink, or she has irritation from other products she's using. She has a sensitized skin barrier, all those things, right? But we already know that we're going to do special. So I had already put my milk exfoliant in here. We went gentle just because she is having the irritation. And we're just going to add a little bit of special into this, but keep enough for when we double cleanse later on. Okay, you don't necessarily have to do this in a bowl. You can do this just like in your hand if you wanted, but a bowl is just cleaner, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mix it around, and it's gonna become pasty. With this paste, it kind of foams up a little bit, so you don't really need to add water, but you're gonna add water into doing your emulsifying process before you remove it. So right here, what I'm gonna do is, since I have a fan brush, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it with a fan brush. If I didn't have a fan brush, I could just like slap it onto my hand, like scoop it up and apply it like a second cleanse, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna apply it to the chest first, go neck, then face. But anytime you go into a client, once you've been off of them for a while, present yourself by touching their shoulders. That way it's just not like a boom, there's product, and they're like, ah, right, someone touched me. Okay, they're in a vulnerable state for some people, so you just want to be mindful of that and give them like a little shoulder tap. If you're doing a 30, you could do like the chin tap, or like right here by the ear or something. Some people have sensitivities to the ear, so I just do it down here at the jaw, because they're used to you touching that, right? Right, so we're just going to apply it. Your goal is to do nice, long, soft strokes, of course, on the neck here, and we're only using one fan brush. I'm gonna have to do multiple strokes, right? I'm going all the way back here. Okay. For her face, we're gonna start here, stay away from the eye, go down. Okay, right. And now I'm just gonna fill in what is kind of dry, right? But you see how I went ahead and pretty much got it all over the face before I started going in and started kind of spot treating. Okay, so this is special cleansing gel with milk exfoliant. So there shouldn't really be any sensation. If she was having sensation, then she might have some kind of allergy to something. Or we're touching her eyes where she's having that reaction, right? But her chest is nice and covered. Why is it important to do décolletés and necks? Any wild guesses? No wild guesses? Besides your hands, your chest and your neck are one of the first things people can tell your age off of. Yeah. Ever look at somebody who's had like a facelift or whatever, but their chest and their neck say different? Yeah. It's crazy work. Yeah. So we're gonna wet this brush. So instead of me wetting my hands and going with my hands, I'm just gonna wet the brush. I gotta add time because I didn't already do that earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and add quite a bit of time because we're going through a bunch of modalities. We're not gonna do a full 10 minutes of this brush. We're just gonna do a little bit so you can see it. Okay, you see how it's changing speed as I'm doing the energy? Okay. So I can turn it on and off, I can go left or right. So with this, it's wet, so it's gonna help emulsify the second cleanse with the milk exfoliant. Again, we would just let them know like, hey, I'm just about to apply a wet brush and we're gonna brush over your skin. All right, so they know what's happening and it's not a shock. So when you go in, you would just make sure that you have your cord so it doesn't touch them, right? If we had another setup, you know, it'd be a little bit different. You want to use some pressure, but nothing too crazy because you are dealing with a brush here, right? And we'll come around back on this side. What would you describe the sensation as, Mrs. Higgs?
I don't even know. Feels like a brush.
Feels like a brush. Is it soft?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you see how it just emulsified that right there? If you can see this side, went white. If we come up here, and we go into here, okay. This would be doing manual exfoliation with our chemical exfoliant, right? Our chemical and physical exfoliant because it's wet based. It's not rice based, this one. Milk exfoliant. It's made out of wild guesses. What is it made out of?
Milk?
Not you.
Oh.
The class. The class.
The other one was rice, so that one's
Oats. Oats.
Mm.
It's oat based, okay? That's why it has to smell like it does. So the oats is the physical exfoliant part of the chemical physical side of both milk exfoliant and microfoliant. What we're doing here is more so like a manual physical exfoliant, adding the brush into play, okay? If we just let it sit on the skin, is it still going to exfoliate? Absolutely. And what's that mean? It's doing a chemical exfoliant. Just focusing right there on her nose because she always says that her nose has a lot of gunk in it and she always wants it out, right? Mm-hmm. She's always like, look at my nose, look at my nose. I say, your nose does not look that bad. She goes, it looks awful. I say, no, I've seen worse. I've seen worse. Okay, questions about the spin brush? Nothing crazy about it. It's a spin brush, right? So if you wanted to do that for a couple minutes and then you had to prepare something else and get something else ready, you could. But for today, we're just gonna go ahead and remove it. Could I have done that with just my hands? Yeah,
Yes.
I could have just rubbed my hands all over her face. That's absolutely correct. But some people might like all the fancy gadgets, right? Especially if you're at a higher price point. Okay, so with this one, we should be able to get it off with 4x4s. If we can't, then we have a warm towel that we can use, but we're gonna go in with 4x4s first. If we were just doing micro or milk exfoliant, most likely just gonna go straight in with a towel, because the towel is going to get it all up, where the 4x4s, we're gonna be fine with it for a while. We still might be fine with a little bit of it here, but because it's with a special cleansing gel, it might be a little bit different. Y'all see how it's yellow in color? So this one and the multivitamin mask will stain white. Okay, so just know if you see anything yellow stained here, it's probably milk exfoliant or multivitamin mask. You think you'd be okay with a warm towel?
Mm-hmm.
Areas that get super dry are gonna be the areas that are the ones that don't wanna come up. So that's why it's good to try to remove it while it's still wet, or remove with something that's wet. Then even still, you see with the 4x4s, I'm leaving behind a bunch. Is it gonna hurt if it's left behind? Milk exfoliant, not so much, but microfoliant or any other kind of exfoliant, yeah, but it's gonna leave these little beads, and who wants that all over their face, right? Nobody. Okay, so as you guys seen in TDLR testing, you see them hold their towels, you see them do a wrist. Why would they do that?
To test the temp.
To test the temp. It's hot, right? You just don't always want to just throw it straight onto their face. Might be too much for them. On somebody who's maybe claustrophobic, you always want to double check if they're okay with towels. But anytime I go in with a towel, I always place it on their chest and ask, how does that feel?
It's good.
Feels good, okay? And then I follow up by going up under the chin and wrapping. How does that feel?
Great.
Great. Okay, some little pressures. You could cover the lip if you wanted, but you don't have to. Okay, when we talked about doing like the little mandible rubs, temple rubs. There's her temples. I was like, that's a headband, right? Kind of get some setup for the rest of the service. Because cleansing is not the most fun part of the service. So if I take it off, I'm just using the towel to catch anything else. I can't see up under her nose, but I'm just always gonna wipe there to make sure I got anything. All right. Can't see up under her chin, so guess what I'm doing? Just use a little rocking back and forth motion. Okay. And then we're just gonna do a little spot check. Make sure we just don't have any excess of anything, okay? How are you feeling? Any sensation by your eyes?
Mm-mm.
So we're gonna get into now our resurfacing module, okay? Resurfacing is going to be our boosted resurfacing, so it's gonna be liquid gold. So we're just gonna apply liquid gold by itself. Before I do that, I'm just gonna apply a little bit of the ultra calming around where the pads are, just to give us a barrier. Let me know if you feel anything there.
Mm-mm.
Alright, so since we're not mixing the liquid gold with anything, it does say that you can dispense this straight onto the skin. So you'll see some that will do like dotting methods and then kind of like move it all around. For me, if I don't apply it with a fan brush, I just apply it with gloved hands and just move it around, right? And then when I get done with double cleansing off the liquid gold, I change my gloves. That way I don't still have liquid gold somewhere on there and I'm doing the rest of the facial with it on my hands, right? So I'm gonna squeeze this whole tube out. Y'all saw that? Slick work, okay? Just over my gloved hands. And just let them know, like, hey, you're gonna have some sensation. Let me know if you feel any burning or anything that's not bearable. Okay, sensation is normal, tingling, but it should get better with time. It shouldn't be anything that wants you to remove it immediately. If it is, let me know so we can remove it immediately. Okay, this will help brighten her tattoos on her chest. It'll help resurface anything that's going on underneath the skin. But it's also going to help brighten her skin right here where she has had some previous acne scarring. For some people, continuous massaging around of the product is preferred because it kind of helps break up the sensation. But if their skin barrier is okay for it, you should be able to let it sit there and then be okay for about 8 minutes or so. Any sensation so far?
Mm-mm.
Okay. This still recording? It never fails. As soon as I start recording something, somebody wants to call me.
They're on do not disturb.
You're so smart. She's a smarty. It's crazy. You ever been told how smart you are, Madison? Still no sensation?
Mm-mm.
Good. All right, so it's all over her chest, her neck, and her face right now. So we just wait. What time is it? Someone said like a 5-minute timer. And how am I gonna remove this product? This was liquid gold. Not pull that for us. Before any of that. Not the globes. It's a boosted resurfacing module. Liquid gold. We gotta remove it a specific kind of way.
Cool towel. Cool towel.
We could follow up with the cool towel, but before we do any of that, what products am I gonna remove it with?
Wait. Close?
We've already done this portion of the service, technically.
Double cleanse?
Double cleanse. We remove with pre-cleanse and special cleansing gel. Right? Gotta double cleanse it off. So we just wait. How are you feeling?
Good.
Great. Always want to check in. Always want to check in because things could change for them. They could be lying and they might go, fine. And you're like, are you really though? Right? But if you hadn't asked, you wouldn't know. Right? If y'all want to move closer, you can. Okay. Okay. From the phone.
Like I can see the chest on the phone, but then like right here,
Yeah. You see how vibrant it's making her chest tattoos look? It already looks so vibrant.
Glowy.
Glowy. Definitely a glow look. Looks like her forehead, ate it up pretty well. Her chest is sitting right on top. How often have you been exfoliating, Mrs. Higgs?
I actually need some more. Yeah. My bad.
At least you're not overdoing it. So that's a positive, right? Still no sensation? Somebody with a compromised skin barrier, right? They're gonna have sensation. They're gonna be, oh my god, my face is on fire, or oh, it's kind of burning, but it's not too bad. It's manageable, But whatever she's doing at home, she's doing okay. You're doing just great.
The Curology stuff.
Still doing Curology?
Yeah. They switched up the formula though.
Yeah?
They took, dang, what is it? I'm gonna have to look. They took one thing out and gave me the, I wanna say tretinoin.
Tretinoin?
Yes.
They gave you tretinoin?
Yes, they added it in there.
Is it topical or?
Topical.
Okay. How often are you doing that?
I kind of did it. I haven't done it yet, honestly.
Oh, it's good. Okay.
I got a 79.
Yeah, we passed.
I know. In the last shred.
How much time we got left?
Less than a minute.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna pre-cleanse. I'm gonna add pre-cleanse to my hands, and then I'm gonna move it all around, and then I'm gonna leave the pre-cleanse on, and I'm going to then go in with special cleansing gel, move it all around, emulsify, and then I can remove it with like a cool towel, 4x4 or something like that. Okay. You would want to avoid removing this with a hot towel, just because potentially they could get more sensation from it being removed with a hot towel. Okay. Fine. That was the
And
rest.
then after the gloves, we'll change the gloves.
Yeah, then I'm gonna change my gloves. Potentially. Any sensation with pre-cleanse? Okay, so the pre-cleanse is all over. We're just gonna scoop out special cleansing gel. We're gonna go in right on top. Still no sensation? Good. Very, very good. She's a champ. Okay.
Yes.
What? What'd you do, Yari?
I was like, I'm tripping.
You tripping?
Yeah.
Okay, this is gonna be a cool towel, so it is gonna be pretty chilly. How's that feel?
Cold.
Cold, I know. Okay. I'm not gonna leave it on too long. We're just gonna use it to remove. Cooling towels help with what?
Inflammation.
Inflammation. So if you're dealing with someone who has breakouts, cooling towels are great because it can help calm down any redness, any sort of inflammation, any sort of irritation, help shrink the pores back up. Okay. Just gonna follow up, make sure we want it all off the skin, right?
Can you do my lips?
Yeah. How's that feel? You need it again?
On the other side.
Feels good? Right. Don't be afraid to just double check anywhere because if you don't remove it, they're gonna continue just to get sensation at some point, right? So you'd rather just get it off now. Take your time. So I'm gonna remove that and get this side of the nose. Oh, she had no sensation. The first time we ever did it, did you have sensation? You did okay too.
I can't remember. I feel like I did one time when you like a little tingling.
Just a little bit, but it was like manageable. I feel like that was like the first time we ever did it. So since then, every 12 weeks, it's been about our go-to. So every 12 weeks, and she's using Curology at home. She's feeling great. She's looking great. Okay. All right, so we just did our resurfacing module, right? Now we're gonna go into our extractions. So for extractions, if you have manual extractions that need to be done, you would do that with your gloved hands. You would do it with your 4x4s, your stretch and mount method and wiggle. For her, she doesn't really have any manual ones that I'm going to do. So I'm just gonna show you how I do extractions using the ultrasonic blade, okay? So that's the skin scrubber that you'll see advertised. Depending on the ones that you get, obviously a more expensive one works a little bit better, more efficiently. But cheap ones can kind of do the same thing. You just wanna make sure that you're not digging into the skin with these, okay? You want to avoid digging. Okay, the ultrasonic blade is a great spot upgrade because you can use it in 2 different areas. You can use it in resurfacing, extractions, or with your mask. So today we're gonna use it as part as our extractions, okay? We didn't use it with our resurfacing because we did the spin brush, right? Okay. So, add some more time onto this machine, just so it's there. We're gonna start off with, let's do ventouse first, and then we'll do the blade. Let's do ventouse and then the blade. Okay, because ventouse is gonna help loosen up anything, so that should make it easier for everything else to come out with the blade if we need to. If we did the blade, then did ventouse, it'd still help, but doing ventouse first is gonna be a little bit better of an option. So I'm just gonna go ahead and place multi-scaling gel all over because I'm doing ventouse. Okay. You don't necessarily have to vacuum the chest, but if you wanted to, you could. Some people experience chest acne. This is why I have so much multi-scaling gel. Normally you wouldn't have this much multi-scaling gel. If you were just doing extractions, you would just have enough to do spot treatment with. But because I'm gonna be going around the whole face, I need to make sure I have enough product that will create a slip. Can I get a volunteer to come fill up this water bottle with water on the V-spray? It's over here. You see this black tube in that little bottle? You just unscrew that and then take that bottle and fill it up with water. Just Luke is fine. It doesn't have to be crazy either way. We're gonna let this sit on the face for about 2 minutes just to let it work while she's getting that water. As long as it works for us today, last time it didn't want to work for us, we'll use that to re-wet the face so you can kind of see how that works.
She's gonna get water?
Well, from the cooler, the filtered water.
Distilled water.
The filtered water. Just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Okay, so I already have the ventouse tube hooked up and I already have the piece right here, okay? Now with this piece, you gotta be very careful. If you drop it, it will shatter, okay? They're that thin. They are not very strong.
So we're out Monday and Tuesday?
Yeah, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
Tuesday,
It's too tall for me to sit down on it, but I need it that tall.
Wednesday.
So I have to use the wall to. Thank you, Maddie. You need another bolster?
Back hurts.
You want one for up under your butt?
I don't know.
Might help a little bit. Maybe I'll grab her another bolster. Let's wait for one of those. One of these beds are not comfortable.
All them kids.
Why would we do the same?
Alright, and then just lift up the sheet and then just try to put it right up under her
Underwear.
under her butt. Like so when you lift it up, it'll kind of help flatten out her back a little bit.
Right here? Right there? Like this? Or
It's
up,
autumn.
down,
Where at?
Oh, like up under your cheeks.
under your cheek.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit. Something.
Thank you.
Forgot to grab a no microfiber. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm creating a little filter for the ventouse. Okay, this is just gonna help keep any gunk from going down into the tube. Okay, so you see I just found something really small that I could poke into the ventouse. Okay, usually I just use the blue microfiber like swabs, but right now we have a bobby pin, so we're just gonna use a bobby pin. We're gonna be resourceful, okay?
Now that was a question on the test. It said, do you just continuously hold your index finger over a certain part of it, or do you hold your finger over a certain part of it as you're lifting it off the skin? I don't remember if I got that wrong or right, but what's the correctness?
So I'm gonna show you because we're about to do it. Okay. So what I'm checking for right here is just making sure that it doesn't like suck up into it. So I want it thick enough that it just doesn't suck up into the tube, but also thin enough that it allows air to go through it. Okay. So I just stuff it in there. That's all. Okay. Some come with like sponges and stuff, but sponge is a porous item. So if you use it as sponge, should you throw it away once you're done? Yeah. Okay. So by doing this, it's already just something that's disposable. We have a lot of them. It's good. Okay. And then we're gonna stick it on like such. I'm gonna put another gloved hand on. I couldn't grip it earlier. The multi-scaling gel has dried down. So we're gonna re-wet with our bee spray if it wants to work for us. Yay, it works, okay? So you would just let your client know, I'm just going to spray this mist over you. You'll just keep your mouth and eyes closed for the time being. She's already got protection on her eyes, so making sure that she doesn't open her mouth. Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, so I have time, I have energy, bee spray's working, all that jazz. Okay. We're just gonna re-wet. You don't want to make them feel like they're drowning or anything. You just want to re-wet. How does that feel?
Feels good.
Really light, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a great way to re-wet skin if you need a re-wet skin. Okay, so if I'm done with that, I'm gonna go to my vacuum. So we have a little section there. Because we're looking for a decent amount. More section now, which is better. You see why we don't have all the cords all the time? You're always fighting with them. So that's why we always just have what we need for the time being, okay? So there is a little hole here on the side of the ventouse glass piece. Depending on the piece, it's gonna be in different spots. On this one's great for a large area. It's flat, right? So I'm just going to be able to plug it, create suction, and drag it across the skin. Very similar to a microderm, except with a microderm, you don't have to plug it, right? You just drag and flick off, right? So we want to make sure that we start off a little bit lower than we do higher. Our glove is different than our skin, right? So we want to make sure that we're not starting off too high and then getting stuck. But anytime we do get stuck, we just release the plug. Okay? So when I'm done, if I'm here, I'm not on, so it's not suctioning, right? If I plug, it's suctioning and I'm dragging and I release. How's that suction feel? Okay. And I just follow this in a pattern, okay? You want to stay away from doing it too much on the neck, just because it's really uncalled for, but you could get stuck really easily. And if you are going to do the neck, you would want to turn their head to like expose, so it's a little bit better. But if you have the thyroid there, jugular's there, all that, you want to just kind of stay away. With the gloved hands, I do tend to get stuck on the ventouse because my fingers are too short for these gloves. Yeah. So you'll see at some point I'll go to like release and I can't release because it's on the loose part, right? But I haven't hickied her yet, so.
Be careful with that.
Yeah, that'd be a hard one to explain to the husband. He'd be like, yeah? I'd be like, I swear, baby, it was just autumn. I'd be like, okay. Okay, so here we're gonna go ahead and grab taut and just slide across. This is just gonna help us loosen up anything for when we go in for ultrasonic blade or even just manual extractions. Okay, so I'm gonna follow about the same protocol as I do a microderm. Okay, so you could go over the skin as much as needed, as far as like 2 or 3 passes, but today we're just gonna do one, because she really doesn't have much going on. Previously you've had quite a bit more, so we've really focused on it and try to use the ventouse as much as possible. But today we'll mainly focus on ultrasonic blade. So I would do horizontal and then vertical if I could, right? You do see she is a little bit pink, right? They'll go down. It's not anything to freak out about. For the forehead, you'll see here I'm trying to adjust this piece based off of where I'm at on the head.
So to answer that question, you keep your hand over the piece.
How do I break section?
Releasing your finger.
Yeah.
Releasing it. So I'm creating suction by placing my hand over the hole, the finger over the hole. Face is getting a little dry because we sat there and fought with it for a while, so I'm just going to use a little bit of water to re-wet. If it's not wet, it just won't really glide, so that could be uncomfortable. They should feel suction, but they shouldn't feel pain or anything. If they had bad, like cystic acne or whatever, this would definitely be uncomfortable because it's sucking all of that. Some people do use ventouse to help with like lymphatic drainage, working around and down the lymph nodes if you wanted to do that. For the nose, if you can grab suction with this one, you could use this one. If not, we're gonna switch our bit. See how that just suctioned that right down in there, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna turn down the suction a little bit. We're gonna stay away from the piercings as much as possible. So this is what you always see on those videos when people are vacuuming, you know, blackheads and white heads out of people's noses. very common to lose section and regain section. It's just anatomy. Each person's a little bit different, right? How's that feel? Is it too strong? Okay. And then for upper lip, you'll just have them tuck their lip. So same with like a microderm, you could also help with getting a little bit better on the chin here. Let's re-wet that. The chin area is usually an area of concern as well, so use your tools to benefit you and make your job easier. Right? We're going to switch to doing the ultrasonic blade now. Okay. So with the ultrasonic blade, we're going to apply a little bit more multi-scaling gel because I want to make sure I have it in the areas that I'm going to be doing some extractions with it, make my job a little bit easier. If we didn't have the ventouse just go over her face, we would just re-wet the multi-scaling, but the ventouse just kind of moved some of it around. So we want to make sure that we have some on the face. So forehead, cheeks, chin, those are all areas, nose, that I'm going to be doing it on. This one here that I have today is my personal one. So this one I do prefer just because it is buttons over touch. The touch on these is extremely hard to keep it from changing. Okay. So for extractions, I am going to be shovel down. For penetration, I'd be shovel up, right? So shovel up would just glide across the back of the skin. For extractions, shovel down. Okay. So let me re-wet her real quick. Plug this back up. You do want this pretty wet because you want to be able to glide. You don't want to dig. Okay? Okay. Okay, we're going to spray your face again. You could use this with a toner as well. You could also do the free spray with the toner, but if your toner didn't come as a sprayer, then that would make sense, right? Alright, so the goal is to always hold these two prongs on the side, so whichever direction I'm going, I'll just readjust my hand placement. Okay. This is why we have a towel here, so you can just easily do that. Or you could also have a 4x4 nearby. Can y'all see that one beading around? That was part of a little pimple. You don't have to go too slow, but you don't have to go too fast either. You just want to glide across the skin. Even if we don't get stuff up today, this should help expel things a lot faster, especially because we did 2 rounds of exfoliating. And then we just did a little bit of extractions using the ventouse and loosening it up. Now we're going in with the ultrasonic blade, so we should be really free of all that stuff, okay? You should definitely see results in the next couple days. She does have one up here on her forehead. If y'all want to come around and see exactly what this is. see this like blackhead right here? Some right here. Let's just go over those. Just gonna go real slowly. I'm just gonna move it out. So how that just came out? I didn't use any pressure. I just went over it a little bit more slowly. Okay? Just see that. Kind of on the corner here. Yes, on the corner, right? Did you feel anything different when I went over that spot? Sometimes, depending on what it is, sometimes they'll feel it coming out. Depending on your blade, that also depends on how well this works, like effectively. Let's spray a little bit. Like if you're using a cheaper blade, it's not gonna work as quickly. So if you're using a more expensive blade, this will work a little bit better. This is one of those things that does really great for people who need extractions, but maybe they have a lot of little ones, right? And certain areas of the faces can get a little bit more like a tickling sensation. People will be like, oh, it tickles, but it shouldn't hurt. See how she's dry? It wasn't going to slide any bit. You didn't really bring me much to extract today. You're doing fabulous, huh? Are you very sorry? No, it's okay. That's good work. It's working for you. Okay, you can use this on the nose too. I'm just gonna be gentle. That noise right there is just her nose ring. it goes for like 9 minutes. So that also kind of helps you know like where you're at in your timing as far as extractions goes. When you should think about stopping. You've been sleeping nicely. All right. So that's ventouse and ultrasonic blade, okay? So we do want to remove the multi-scaling gel from the face, so we're just gonna re-wet and we'll remove with 4x4s, okay? So we're gonna spray again. If you're one of those people that you think you're always gonna wanna have the light on during a treatment, invest in some of those little like iPads, so then they could just stay on like this the whole time. But they make actual like little iPads or goggles, like tanning booth goggles that you can use. Okay, so we're just gonna go swipe. That way they can kind of relax. This light, even though this one's not that bright, like some of these other ones, like that one, is a lot brighter. Okay, and just like any other extractions, what are we going to follow up with after multi-scaling gel? Post. What is post-extraction for? Antibacterial. It's going to help kill off anything. Are you still doing okay on your under eyes? Okay, good. Good. So remember, I have the 2x2 of my post, and I just go in swiping motions. If they're not used to it, you definitely want to give the warning of smell, coolness, all that stuff, right? Some people like the smell, some people just get used to the smell. Nevertheless, warn them. I'm not going to do the post on her chest just because we didn't do any extractions there. We did the ventouse, but we started there. We didn't start on the face and then go down to the chest with the ventouse. Okay, took your lips. Okay. All right. That was extractions, right? So now what would be our next module? Not dermal layering.
Resurface?
We've already done resurfacing.
Touch therapy?
Touch therapy, okay? So we're doing good on time. So we'll do a little touch therapy. Depending on what you do or when you do it, there is always just a module for touch therapy, right? So you want to save some of the stuff you do on the chest, neck, shoulders for your touch therapy module. If you do it all while your exfoliation or your mask is sitting, then you don't really have a touch therapy module, right? So even if it just is as something as simple as, you know, the sweeps, right? I'm gonna get up under her neck. can just kind of slow it down every time you do it. Repetition kind of helps them relax a little bit because they know what's happening. You don't have to use too much of your pressure because her body is laying down on your hands. Okay, so the pressure of her body is going to help with that, okay? If you want to help relax, like release them back, giving them the shoulder scooch, right? Okay, maybe a little side to side action. Real just slow, like this is when like you do some of the essential oils and whatnot just to help set the mood. Add a little bit more. You don't want to go in with too much. You'd rather add some later than go in with too much because then it's all over. But you could remove it if you did. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a little neck pull. I'm just going right up under her occipital bone. So kind of where the headband is on her right now. I'm just doing like a little tension pull, okay? Stabilizing her with my palms here. I got my palms on her ears. You don't want to do nothing too crazy. Just enough. Knuckle rolls is fine, right? Some people just like simple décolletage, circular effleurage like motions, right? When you're the person laying there, you almost don't care what they do to you. You're just glad somebody's touching you, right? So only you know what you're messing up on or not doing, right? Unless they come to you all the time and you give them touch therapy, and the next time they come, you barely give them anything, right? So, about 10 minutes of this. How's the pressure?
Good.
Good.
I'm really gonna go to sleep.
Okay, go to sleep. Okay. Doesn't always matter what motion you're doing in, as long as it just semi makes sense. I'm gonna try to avoid going like top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. If you're doing like starting at the bottom and then you're working your way up, once you start kind of getting higher, then that's when you want to stay higher, right? You don't want to rub too much up under her occipital bones just because she does have that reaction going. We can take it a little bit lower for her. Temple rubs is the people's jam. You can hit them double time. A little temple jaw action. Ooh. Going for a loop. Y'all have seen the videos where they did the S's, right? If you feel like it's getting dry, add some more. Some people, if they're on the oilier side, that's when you need less. So you would just usually go in without gloved hands because you kind of need the hands to absorb some of it. So that little S's. Alright, for the most part, you just kind of start out a motion and you just do it until you kind of go back and you just slow it down the next time. Some people don't like this. It's up to you. What you like to do, what's going to be your signature touch therapy. Club next door. See, this is what it would be like, you know. We'd be relaxing and then boom, boom, boom.
So own clients, but if it's short staff or something and somebody comes to see a specific person and that person's not there and then we have to hop in and do the service for them
Mm-hmm.
and they go to that person all the time, so it's like they're used to, and maybe that person's a little bit more experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to that person all the time, so it's like when they get us,
You're more than welcome to go to the person you've been to before. You know, like, hey, I did my best, or I do how I perform my services. If it wasn't to your standards, then maybe you should go back to the other person, right?
yeah. Like, what if they just really wanted a facial done, but the person who was supposed to do it wasn't here, so one of
Yeah. I mean, either you're gonna suck it up and be with me, or you're gonna reschedule and be with the person you wanted before. It's just one of those things, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody's
makes
touch
sense.
is a little bit different,
Yeah.
and they can't expect everyone to be the exact same. Now, if we were a corporation and everybody's training was the exact same, that's a little bit different, you know? That's a little bit different. But as far as like, oh, why are I always coming to this person? I want them. So be it. So be it. You can come to them when they're back on another day. But if you want a facial today, you're gonna be with me. The way I do it. Alright? Some people even like to do like the little windmill. You seen those? Yeah. It's not one of my favorites, but for some people it works really nicely. If you wanted to do side of head, how do we move their head? You went forearm. So if I'm here, I'm up under her neck, and then I have her head in between my arms. I'm just going to pick her up and then turn her to the side. Okay? Forgot that you had a little iPads, right? This now exposes this side of the neck, right? So just some nice little stretches. This kind of stuff, when you do like the picking up, a lot of times it's easier if you're standing, right? Or if you can have your bed adjusted where everything's in line with everything, right? When you're just dealing with what you have, you're just dealing with what you have, you know? That's all you gotta do. Do you receive any major differences since we began? We got the glow going on. We do have the glow going on. Right now we do have a lot of slip going on too. A lot of massage gel cream. That's why it's good just to kind of start without it and work your way up with more, because like this is just creating like a huge slip, right? And you sometimes you want a little bit of that friction so you can really do the motions without sliding off, right? Okay, if we're done, you want to try to avoid having the client move their own head. You want to go to the middle, and then you want to turn them to the side. We're gonna put her little iPad back on over on this side, right? questions?
When we start off, are we like set a timer until we get in kind of like the rhythm of just
No, you could set yourself a timer or like a stopwatch
like
so you can kind of see where you're at. Little knuckle rolls. My fingers are really short, so I'm not really a knuckle roll person, but I do it more so with my wrist. Some people can just do it with their fingers. They have really big fingers and it just glides really nicely, right? Mine aren't like that. So if I do knuckles, I usually just do like a wrist like motion. This massage gel cream, we can leave this on her chest, but we'd want to remove it off her face just to make sure that she doesn't have any excess oil that she doesn't need. Okay. If they're on the drier side, it shouldn't hurt them to leave it on, but someone who deals with acne, you don't really want to leave it on, even though it's non-congesting and it's okay to. It's just one of those things, like why leave it on if you don't have to? So when it's dry, it might be a little bit more beneficial to them. Okay. It's cold. You have gum in? Oh, I didn't even notice. She's over here chewing gum. I feel like you always have gum though. Yeah. All right, we just did touch therapy. Now what?
Mask.
Before the mask. It's part of what section? The what? Serum. Deep treatment. Okay. So for us, we did some niacinamide and we did some Power Bright. Okay. If you don't know what they look like, you could always do like a little sniff test. Let's see, because one definitely has a more noticeable, like this one, creamier one is Power Bright. The one that has the niacinamide in it is a more like kind of tangy smell. Okay, so I'm gonna put Power Bright over her chest because she does have the tattoos, right? And 60-minute facials do come with décolletage, neck, and face, right? I'm gonna put that mainly there. I'll brighten those up and just look real nice for her. Okay. The other area I'm gonna put it in is anywhere with dark spots, right? So usually we have to do a little bit over in her cheek area, just because she usually has some dark spots there. But this time they're not as bad, so we're just gonna leave that for the niacinamide to really do its work on any acne she has going on. So we're just gonna add it a little bit to the forehead. She does have some dark spots up there. Okay. Now with niacinamide, we're gonna go in where we didn't go in with the Power Bright. So her cheeks, her chin, upper lip, nose, mask on top of that. Okay, so usually I just kind of load up the mask with what I can, and we'll just start on the chest. If you only have one fan brush and you're loading it from like a container like such, you will have to go back and forth like a kind of like scooping like mechanism. But just try to do like where you get some of it applied evenly and then go back and get some. That makes sense? Right. So it can be tightened at the same time. We're gonna go with the neck. Multivitamin Power Recovery Mask is great for what? Do y'all know?
Hydration?
Not really.
What's the name of it?
The Multivitamin Power Recovery Mask.
Brightening?
Brightening.
Soothing?
Not really soothing.
Aging?
Aging is anti-aging. What does it have in it?
Multivitamin.
What vitamins though? Multivitamin is a broad term.
Vitamin C.
Maybe. You want to look it up?
What was the name of it?
Multivitamin Power Recovery Mask. That's mine.
Oh, so which one is it?
It's all organized by sections. The section you're in right now is moisturizer, so it would not be located there.
I see conductive, purifying. Oh, here we go, right here. So, in the multivitamin power recovery mask, it says that it has vitamins A, C, and E, and linoleic acid to help
Lactic.
skin recover from damage that leads to skin aging while enhancing barrier properties.
So why do we think we chose that one for this particular client today?
Was she struggling with hyperpigmentation?
Previously she has, but not so much today.
Maybe just to give the skin like a less of a dull appearance.
Some brightening. More so for the skin barrier, more so for some of the breakouts that she's experiencing, the fine lines, the pigmentation. Hello, Miss Bethany.
Hi.
Hi. Did you come say hi to our friend?
Yeah. How's it going?
She's taking a little nappy poo.
Much deserved.
Oh, you're so sweet. Such a sweetheart.
You having fun?
Always.
Okay, cool. I got all the grade stuff.
Look at you.
I know.
You did your job. That's amazing.
Yeah. Should give myself a sticker.
You should give yourself a sticker. That's a fact.
After last day was
What day?
Christmas holiday.
Yeah.
And tomorrow is
I don't remember what
Is
it
it
was.
for ugly sweater?
screenshot.
This for our ugly sweater?
I thought today was ugly.
Yeah, that's today because that's why she had that on. I think. No, but I think I don't know if it's ugly sweater or Christmas sweater. It's what I thought, 'cause it's from the picture.
pimentation? No.
Why were those in the freezer?
Kind of make them cold.
Oh yeah, you were here.
Oh, that's what I was about to say.
These are cooling globes.
They feel good.
Oh yeah, you had the one last time.
They're always in the freezer.
We could do refrigerator, but
It's holiday hat day.
holiday hat
Yeah.
day. So helps with, you already feel the cold.
Mm-hmm.
Can help with again, pigmentation, just like the cooling towels, like acne, shrinking the pores, redness. We're not gonna do it too long on her because she's already cold, right? This is gonna make her cold, but it's definitely gonna feel good. So we're just gonna wait about halfway, then we'll do it, and then we'll remove with the cool towel, and then go into dermal layering. But today, because she has the under eye irritation, we're not gonna do under eye serum. We're just gonna do toner, moisturizer, because no SPF, it's nighttime, right? Okay.
Can we remove with the cold towel? Or is that too different? Because I know when I did tomorrow, she wanted to do the hot towel.
Yeah, cool towel is gonna be a more so like our standard, as far as like if we're helping something, right? Like if we're trying to help acne, if we're trying to help repair the skin barrier, like that's the cooling. Warm towel, more so people that are a little bit more normal. Like earlier we used a warm towel to remove the second cleanse,
Oh, okay.
you know, so. Okay, it's gonna be really cold, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But it's gonna feel so refreshing, and you're just gonna act like you're in the Sahara Desert. Does that sound good?
I'm gonna act like I'm in a desert and it's cold.
It's all a mental game.
Mm-hmm.
The more you blow it around, it's like the product starts getting on it. It warms up.
Yeah,
Oh, it's not that cold.
on your face it'll be a little bit more. I've also been letting them sit out a little bit, so that way. So we're just gonna be moving around product a little bit. How's it feel on your face?
Good.
Good. Very, very good. You know, we just want to set it in one area. You could burn them technically if you had it cold enough, you know. So when who's having a reaction to something, applying these could be a little bit beneficial to them, because then guess what? Kind of helps reverse like what they're feeling. If they're feeling hot, flushed, stuff like that, right? But you want to just be careful. If they're like in shock, right? If they're having a medical emergency, it's probably not doing that, right? Then guess what? You could do worse. You could do worse. Okay, so we're gonna place this on her chest first. And using that side of the towel to pick up what's on her chest, right? We'll fix these.
So we can cover the nose?
Her nose isn't covered. It's just right up under her nose. Her mouth is covered though. Damn, now the towel is yellow. That's a multivitamin. That's exactly how it felt at the salon. That would be the people sitting down in the booth. Be banging up against the wall. So again, can't really see up under her neck, so we're just going to do the under scoop with the towel. We're gonna pick up the rest. You want to make sure you get this mask all the way off. If you don't, it will irritate their skin throughout the day because it's just a retinol multivitamin mask sitting on their skin. Who would want that, you know? So, make sure that you get it all the way off. Questions on deep treatment? Okay, so dermal layering. We're going to spray the toner over your face. If you'll just keep your eyes, if they were open, right? Eyes and mouth shut for the next 3 to 4 sprays. Okay. Okay. Right, and then 3, 2, 1. And you let it mist down. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. We'll do 1. 3, 2, 1. More so for her décolleté there. Okay. A little component it in. And make sure it's all the way absorbed. You can also do like pressing like motions if you're not a tapper. So there's different variations of tapping. Most people like the tapping. Raindrops falling on your skin. Okay. And then we're doing barrier repair for her moisturizer today, just because she is going to bed, but also because we did a lot to her skin today, and then also because she does have the irritation of the eye, under the eye. So if it was irritating near it, it shouldn't be as irritating because it is barrier repair and not something that has a little bit more fragrance or chemicals in it. Moisturizer, your goal is just to get it worked all the way into the skin. It's not really a touch therapy module, it's just working the product into the skin. But you also want to make sure that you do take your time working it into the skin, because it is the conclusion of a service, right? So if I just said, okay, we're done, that was a really quick ending, right? So I will take a little bit of time just to really make sure that it's worked in. If I feel like my gloves are not allowing the product to get into the skin like I want it to, then I'll take the gloves off for the moisturizing section. if you wanted to be the person to let them have a moment to kind of like re-come on their own before you say like, hey, it's the end of the service, you know, or hey, this is all the products I used on you today and everything that I did, right? You can kind of do that. And you're just, okay, Mrs. Hicks, that's the conclusion of our service. Just go ahead and take the next couple minutes just to lay here and to get up at your own pace, right? That way she just doesn't sit up and feel rushed and now she's passing out or feeling bad, right? So at that point, you would unhook her, right? Because even though you know she's not hooked down to the bed, when you have these headbands on people, a lot of times it feels like they're stuck to the bed. Y'all felt that when you had it on? Almost felt like you couldn't pick up your head? No? No. Kind of feels like that to me, at least. Okay? You'll be like, okay, I'm just gonna turn this light on for you. And you just let them get up, right? Move something that they'll hit their head on out of the way. How do you feel?
Good. Or can you lock it?
You want to see?
This class is quiet.
They are quiet class. Sorry, our go-to photo. There we go. Now this one.
I don't like my eyes today.
You can't really see them there.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because your eyes are closed. You looking?
Dang, my skin is different
Looks different.
from a year ago.
Oh, yeah. Way different from a year ago. Way different. I need to find the photo so I can show you.
Yes, do.
Because I didn't show them the pre-photos from when you first started doing all this madness with me. Okay, it does take time. She only comes every 12 weeks, so maybe if we did it every 6, maybe we'd even see better results, but...
Oh, so you still take time?
Hmm?
I say you still take time?
Yeah, but sure, I just have her come here.
Oh.
Right? 'Cause it's free. Free 99. Isn't that great? All right. That was about, what, hour and a half?
I feel like they called like 30 minutes.
I think you caught about an hour. Because we were only finishing up resurfacing when you came in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Per the phone, hour 40.